Hello and welcome to Coffee Milk. I'm Mark Laporte.
And I'm Mitch DiPaolo.
You came up with your video that I asked for Friday, and it's the following Friday.
Yeah, you were like, you should make a video on your skateboard. And I was like, yeah, I should. And then I went home and I was like, nope, not doing it. So when the next day I was like, nope, not doing it. And then I made it, yesterday?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Before you went out?
Yeah, yesterday at I don't know, like 2 o'clock maybe.
I saw it. It's 8 minutes long.
Oh, it was terrible.
No,
it was horrible. I recorded it with my phone in one hand and I had to use the other hand. And I was just all sideways and it was all moving around and shaky probably.
I did not get the shaky.
I stuttered so many times, so I'm going to have to edit it. It's going to sound so clipped. It's going to sound great. It's going to be botched.
Leave it. I say leave it alone. That 8 minutes, perfect. You explained everything. You showed me everything. I was intrigued. I loved it. There was about 15 seconds towards the end.
Yeah, it was good. It was informative just for the overview. I'm hoping, I'm going to try for the next video. I'm going to do a actual build of it, and I'm going to take everything apart, lay the parts out, and then put it all together to show people how it goes together. And then I'm hoping maybe I could get a little bit better of a quality, because I see some creators on YouTube that do some electric skateboard build videos, really satisfying build videos. They'll build the whole deck, they'll carve it with a router.
So it's time lapse and
yeah.
I mean, that'd be cool if you go that crazy, but you're not going to go that crazy. You're going to
No, I can't.
It's just that's too much.
Maybe one day I could build one. I make YouTube videos of it, but
don't try and make this video perfect. Put it up. I say put it up now.
I just got to get it out because I'm not going to do it.
Just get a good thumbnail. Give me a picture of the skateboard or whatnot, or a skateboard, and we'll create the thumbnail for you. It really does that, because I saw your numbers are going up on the other video.
Oh, they are? I haven't checked. I'm going to look at it.
But you were telling me, and the reason I brought up the YouTube thing is because you were telling me that you think, this is how you put it, streaming is YouTube's going to take over.
Oh, yeah.
And cable is done, and they're just waiting for all the old people to die off. And hey, thanks, but I'm glad you're looking out for people my age.
I'm not talking about you. You use the streaming service, so you don't count.
But I think that I think cable is gonna be, or a version of cable will be reintroduced if this should ever go away. I don't think it's going away, but what they're gonna do is they're just gonna take all the streaming services and bundle it all up again, because it's kind of annoying to pay $9.99, $14.99, $9.99, just 1,000 different times. You realize that you're spending about the same amount on streaming services as you are on cable. So I don't understand the appeal.
Yeah.
Of course, I do have every streaming thing, though.
It is expensive, but I don't know. I totally feel like everyone is going to move away from cable. You see it now with the push, with all the internet companies. They're all calling it don't get phone internet, get home internet. You hear that ad. I feel like everyone's just pushing towards getting internet, getting a smart TV, and watching YouTube or whatever streaming service you want. We got Disney Plus ads on my TV, while we're watching TV, and it's hey, want to switch to Disney Plus? It's what? Yeah. It's I'm watching TV right now. There's going to be ads on these TVs that you can't block, and they're gonna be pop-ups pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the little bar at the bottom.
Yeah,
oh god, it'll drive me freaking bananas. But if the TV's touchscreen, I can click a button, an X button on the remote, I'll be fine. Yeah, I'm totally waiting for that.
Yeah, I think once I don't know, maybe in 50 years, 60 years.
What the fuck?
Probably more 30, 20.
I think your time frames are way, you'll notice big change in 5 years.
For sure. Yeah, the world changes a lot faster than I think.
Especially with everything we got going on now. I mean, AI will come up with its own form of cable. That's what I want to say. With the cable thing, the reason I actually like cable is because you click the guide, and sure, you're searching a little while for a good TV show you want, but if you just push up or down on the channel, you get to something and you end up watching it. As opposed to streaming, now that I have everything, it takes 48 minutes to figure out something I want to watch. Yeah. Exactly. That's why cable, it's just nope, channel up. Okay, this is good enough. I'll watch it.
AI could solve something like that, or like a nice like recommendation algorithm.
Or AI is going to come up with its own TV thing. Hey, I want to watch a show about dragons, this, that, and the other thing. And then the AI creates the whole show for you, writes the script, has the actors or has AI generated stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see that in the future. You kind of see stuff now we talked about it on the earlier episode about taking home videos and turning that into, like animated films and stuff. One guy was just walking on pillows in his kitchen and he turned it into like an Indiana Jones thing. And it was really wild.
Crazy. Oh, that's sick.
Speaking of which, Indiana Jones didn't get good reviews, I'm told, the newest one. But what do you want when you have an 80-year-old man trying to be Indiana Jones still?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Don't ruin it for me. I loved The Last Crusade. That, by far, was my favorite. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, YouTube, put that video out. Put that video out today. I'll give you the tags.
I got to edit it and put it out. Put it out. I got to
put it out.
I got to...
You got to put it out there.
I got to edit.
Stop trying for perfection. Just put out videos. Right now, I'm
not really trying for perfection, but I'm putting out like...
No, I know how you are.
Garbage.
You're like, oh, I don't want to put it out because I think it sucks. You think it sucks because you know everything in that video and you don't think it's good. I watched that video for the full 8 minutes and I thought I was engaged. You nailed everything. You talked about the speed controller, the batteries, how you built the batteries, what you did here, the motor mount, the wheels. I thought you explained everything perfectly.
Yeah, I did explain everything, but I feel like it could have been a lot cleaner.
It can always be cleaner, but put that video out and then make the cleaner video later.
I guess, yeah. I could.
Right now, they say it's quality, not quantity. I agree on certain things.
Video, the battery charger, just like on my basement wooden table. That's a mess.
Do your YouTube thing because you got Amazon Prime coming up. They got...
Oh, yeah.
But I think their Prime Day is from July 3rd to the 18th.
I got to check if I got a sale from that video, but I don't think I
have. Oh, well, give me a little more energy next time you say that, too.
Okay. Yeah, no.
But no, everything's been upped from Amazon, like your affiliate commission.
Really?
Tools, it went from 3 to 5%, but I think it's just for Prime Days.
Just for Prime Day.
The more you push. And when we were talking about Amazon Prime and the affiliate program, you said that if they click the link, everything within 24 hours they buy or something is used through your link. Like even if they close out of Amazon and go back on,
oh damn,
they're still using your cookie. And I didn't think that was the case. I thought it was just when they clicked it.
Oh,
but no, It is for 24 hours.
Oh, nice.
That's
good.
As long as they don't click anybody else's affiliate link. So that's a good tip to know. If you got an Amazon affiliate, look for this email that they just sent out for Prime Day. They upped all your commissions. So if you're in one of those niches, make a bunch of videos and push them out.
Yep.
Which you should do. Push that video out today.
I should.
Okay, but my buddy was asking, actually my cousin and his girlfriend, every time she comes over, we just kind of sit down and we laugh for maybe an hour and a half because we just bust each other's balls. There's a natural flow there.
Yeah.
And Jay said that we should do a podcast, but he didn't know what on. And I said, it'll be a Seinfeld show. Seinfeld was a show about nothing. That's what the podcast could be on because we just talk about random stuff. We giggle a lot. It's just, I don't know. Every time they're together and they're here, when they leave, I always feel happy because it's a good time.
Great conversation.
They're always drunk too. So.
Well, there you go.
But they're kind of paranoid.
Probably helps.
They're paranoid that they're going to say something off-brand and get in trouble. I said, you can always do something where you don't put your real names. You don't do video. Just kind of create separate social media accounts and then use that as like an alter ego type deal. But I definitely think that we should start a podcast together. Well, I meant them, like me with them. But
yeah, you should. Yeah.
But because we started our podcast and it's 6 months, so we're slowly coming up on the heels of My First Million. We're going to be taking them over on one of the charts.
Good pods.
Did you see? Good pods. Yes, we're number one in investing in entrepreneurship for the week and the month.
And in marketing too, I saw, right?
I think they might have taken up soft marketing. I think you're only allowed to like add 2 categories for what your podcast is about. Speaking of which, if you have a podcast, go on to Good Pod, sign up for an account and everything, and they'll post it's almost like a Facebook for podcasters. Yeah. Anytime somebody listens to an episode, it kind of just auto posts on the feed, and you see everybody's feed and what people are listening to. And it's got these cool charts of top business podcasts, things like that. They still got a long way to go to compete with like YouTube Music, Spotify, but it's just an awesome social media /
and it's great. It's great for podcasts too, because a lot of people just listen to podcasts, and maybe like you had a Spotify membership, or you had an Apple Music membership, and you kind of like, you listen to a little bit of music, but not that much where you really need it, but you mostly listen to podcasts. You could literally just get Good Pods. It's free.
They got an app.
Discover new podcasts. You can like rate everyone else's podcasts. You can compile lists of podcasts. Like you can get followers. You can follow other people. Like you can follow the host. You could probably DM them or whatever. It's literally just like all podcasts. It's kind of perfect. They're probably going to add video soon.
Yeah, I would actually think so. Probably even newsletter.
Probably. That'd be cool. Add a newsletter element.
The thing I like...
We should tweet out. We should say, when are you going to add a video or newsletter element to Good Pods?
Yeah. The thing I liked about the Good Pods, though, was you really have instant feedback, whereas you go to Spotify, Apple Music, they can leave a comment on the whole show, like, oh, love the show, blah, blah. But this is individual episodes.
It's easy to comment as well. And yeah, the fact that it's individual episodes and you could rate them all, rate it 1 to 5 stars and leave a comment. And then like you can comment on other people's comments. Like, do they have that in Spotify, or is it just like...
I don't think so. It's
not like a comment section. It's just like, so it's more links for your podcast too.
Sorry, I'm also scrolling on Twitter, and I forgot that I'm plugged into the soundboard. And I don't know if anytime I play a video, it comes through the soundboard.
So mute you, or yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna close out Twitter, or just stop scrolling. But this is where I get most of my information from / topics to talk about. But this episode, I really wanted to...
I got to start looking on Twitter more. I don't use the search function, or the discover. I don't use that.
I don't use that. I do the trend. I'll look on the side. I go for trending. So Jay and his girlfriend, they kind of want to start their own podcast. Jay's my cousin and his girlfriend. She comes over every once in a while because she lives in Massachusetts, works in Rhode Island. Sometimes she got to go to work at 7 in the morning. But I told him, I'm like, dude, I like it when she's over, so have her over more, because she's just a funny shit. And if she's listening, hi, Alicia. But he was asking me all these crazy questions about how to start and what he should do. And he was kind of, again, he gets like you. He gets analysis paralysis because he's also not a perfectionist, but he wants everything to be perfect.
He wants it to be done right. He wants it to...
No, you're right. Oops, shit.
He takes more time thinking about how to do it so it's not going to be messed up or it's going to work. Like, he takes his time rather than just like running at it full speed and just like kind of going to the left or right whenever you hit a wall.
Do you think that's better or worse?
I think that's better.
Really?
But
I just think there's 2 different types of people in this world.
I don't think it's better to like be analysis paralysis. I don't know.
No, I think there's people who like just do it. It's like, oh, I got an idea, just run with it. Now, They always say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But I think if you just keep planning and don't do something, then you're just never going to do it.
When I was younger, I would just run at anything like I wanted to try. Like I would just do it. It didn't matter. And now I just want to figure out the right way to do it before I do anything, so it don't mess it up. Because like I feel like as you get older, you have like more of like a responsibility that you need to.
You think that's it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Like, lost your childish enthusiasm.
Yeah, sucks. How do you get it back? But I guess you don't. That's part of growing up. But
no, that's bullshit. I'd like to explore that one further. Not in this episode, but that's interesting because you did tell me that once before. You said when you were a kid, you were just not like free ball.
For example, like I don't know. I feel like I would spend so much time like in the basement, just like. I would mod Nerf guns. Like, I would take apart every Nerf gun I had and, like, try to get it to shoot faster or work better or whatever. And like anything I did, I would just rip it apart and do it. And it's like, it's just different now. I don't know. I don't have the same motivation. I gotta stop. I gotta change. I don't know.
There's something we lost.
I gotta wake the hell up.
I say never lose your childish enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But
it's there sometimes, some days. But
never on a Friday though. When I really want it, I want some
energy. I come on the podcast. I'm like,
I think it's because I just make you talk for 2 hours beforehand. We just discuss everything.
Well, yeah, we just talk. We just keep talking.
It's like,
but
I don't want to start the podcast right when you get here because I feel it's just going to be all over the place. Not saying that this is perfect and this isn't all over the place.
So if you like just wanted to start a podcast for all the people out there, how would you go about choosing your topic or your niche or figuring out what your show is going to be like? Because I feel like that's kind of been a struggle for us. Yes, we talk about like all the internet things. Like we talk about Twitter, we talk about Substack, all the news for that stuff sometimes.
Different side hustles.
We try and get entrepreneurs on. How would you go about like choosing your topic or niche?
Well,
like, maybe go with something you're interested in. Or,
I mean, that always helps. You got to have something. You got to understand there's a
hobby.
It's very hard if you're trying to come up with new topics for the same thing. Like, if you were just to do a whole podcast on electric skateboards, I feel like you would exhaust that thing in maybe 6 months.
You would. Well, I do see that M-Boards, this little e-commerce store, not little, it's a decent size, e-commerce store for electric skateboards started by this guy in college who just built his own and then like made a whole company out of it.
No way.
Yeah. And they do a podcast now. I didn't know they had one, but they have one on YouTube. I think they have like maybe 100 episodes, maybe more. I don't know.
Wow.
But a decent amount of episodes. Talk about all different types of stuff. So like they talk about like getting the products from China and how like the Chinese New Year.
Does he talk more about his business or just
He
everything?
talks about like everything. I think like the new boards he's producing or like maybe like other news in the e-skate community.
How long are his episodes? Did you like?
Maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, I think.
Wow. Okay, yeah, I would have to say.
I see. Now we're getting off topic.
No, but this is perfect. I was saying, you with electric skateboards, I didn't think you could really come up with that much stuff.
Yeah, you can, but it's like not like it's super new stuff every day. Like it's kind of like common things, but different versions and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know.
But maybe you could talk about that stuff because you have an interest in it. Yeah, so what are your hobbies? There's a person for everything. Again, we talked about SB mowing. There are 1.4 million people watching a guy mow grass. Okay? So if you think that your idea is completely stupid, I'll tell you there's an audience for that. But yeah, this one guy on Instagram I follow, he just knits sweaters. And he just, every day or so, he's like, "Hi guys, this is my new sweater for the Minnesota Vikings." And
oh, I remember you saying this.
It's just, it's wild. I see the numbers this guy does.
Yeah.
Thinking,
I just came across this guy on Instagram, and he literally, I'm pretty sure from his account, he has like 1,000 videos.
Holy.
And he does like, it's called like the no fizzy drink.
I'm sorry, I just spit out my coffee.
It wasn't even that funny.
No, but I saw his video.
Like, no fizzy drink today, or something like that.
No. Hello, everybody. No fizzy drink today. Or yeah.
We gotta play the video.
Yeah, do it.
Hello, everyone. No fizzy drink for me today. I was listening to a poetry on TikTok, and I liked it so much, so I'm trying to convert it to a quote for you.
There's this guy who is on a no fizzy drink journey.
What the hell is a fizzy drink? Just anything?
A soda.
Beer.
Yeah, I think it's just a soda.
That's wild.
Like, I think he's talking about soda.
I don't think I had soda forever. I drink lemonade. But...
Yeah, 1,000 videos. This guy pulls like 100K consistently on his videos. And he records them on TikTok too, so he probably has like same views on there. It's crazy.
I bet you he's got more.
He's just posting about his life and like, oh, I found this funny today. Like, that's just crazy.
And we
blows my mind.
We talk about our lives on here every once in a while, and you never think it's interesting. I think there's an audience for it. I think whatever we're going through is somebody out there going through it.
I know that a lot of people like to listen to podcasts like when they're alone or in the car, just to like have like someone talking because they enjoy that.
Yep. It's almost like you're there.
It like keeps them like relaxed or focused or something. So yeah, there is definitely an audience for that.
But
like Yeah. So
if you were going for something that was big, I mean, look at what's trending. If you were to do a whole podcast on AI, yeah, you'd have just gobs of content for days, months, years.
you just have to like dive deep into like all the new tools that are coming out and just like literally give a good overview on each one if you want to like be competitive in that niche though, because like that's like a really, really big niche right now.
You don't think our niche side hustle?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just
this, honestly, this was probably not the best idea, but I also like it because I like to learn about this stuff. So
this is what I'm interested in, and that's the whole thing. That's why I chose this topic. But I knew we'd also bring in what's going on in life, because everybody has something similar in their podcast. Even Jared Bauman from Niche Pursuits or My First Million. They like, all talk about their own lives.
Pitched an idea the other day for all of his listeners to like make a business and like do like
good for him
videos on them and like compete or whatever.
See, I'm just all about getting people motivated enough to actually do something for themselves. I don't want people working a 9 to 5, but then if nobody works a 9 to 5, then we're all screwed.
We can't be like one of them podcasts shilling like is that the word?
Shilling?
Shilling.
Oh, shilling. Yes.
We can't be one of those podcasts like shilling you don't need a 9 to 5. Do a side hustle, like hustle. Like we can't be one of those like YouTube channels.
No, well, we're not. I think we're all realer.
Like
we're the broke entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But
we're building in public and failing in public.
Yeah, we're doing more failing. I feel like ours is relatable though. I can't do My First Million much. I mean, I get it for the big picture ideas, and it's a great podcast. If you don't listen to it, My First Million, highly recommend. But they're not relatable to us. Oh, well, I just spent $1.4 million on a ranch in Texas.
Yeah,
well,
that's
great.
Crazy.
I don't have one.
That like drives listeners too, because when they hear that, it's like maybe some people get like hyped up when they hear that, or maybe people don't. But like, there is something in there that like makes you think, and it's like whether people like get excited about it or not, like big numbers and all that stuff. There's something in there that just makes you like want to listen again, because it just like gets you excited.
Yeah, it motivates me to know what's possible, because that's
why I don't really like My First Million. I like it, but like, and it's like realistic. It's not like they're lying about anything.
Right.
It's all real stuff.
But they're just leap years ahead of us.
Yeah.
They have the network. They have the money.
Yeah.
They have everything, and it's just we're two guys on a shoestring budget who are trying to piecemeal shit together and hope something sticks. Tell them Steve Dave, you should listen to that one. If you just want mindless banter, that's one of my favorites.
I know.
Their podcast, literally about nothing. They just create fun little games like 1 True 3. They give 3 things that happen to them in the life. 2 of them are
literally
false.
do anything for a podcast.
That's the thing. But if you wanted to come up with something, if your whole goal was to monetize something, we'll find one of the biggest topics. Just see what's trending on Twitter, Google. If you did a story on the submarine that just went missing, I'm sure you would have gotten a lot of views. Because
I heard about that. That was horrible.
The coolest, okay, I don't want to say the coolest part, because that's just, but the wife of one of the people who perished, one of the billionaires who perished, her great-grandparents perished on the Titanic. And it's just like,
what the heck?
Yeah, so that's kind of a sad story, but it was a weird headline. I just thought, wow.
Oh, it was a headline too?
Well, yeah, it was headline news because one of the billionaires who perished, his wife's great-grandparents.
Wow.
That's
wow. I didn't see that one because I haven't been like looking at the news a lot like the past couple days.
Don't do it. But you could also do a podcast.
I saw all the news. I saw all the memes though. Like, that's terrible. Holy shit. Like, I was looking on my phone last night and there's memes. Like, people making fun of this situation. It's like,
these people were brutal.
It's not good.
Kind of lost my faith in humanity.
Well, you know why people are making memes about it?
Because they were billionaires?
No, because it's controlled by a freaking PS4 controller. Like,
well,
you look at the pictures of like people looking at the ship years later, maybe like 3 years later, 2 years later, and they're like documenting it, and they're like, oh, this is how it was built, and oh, they didn't cheap out on this part, but oh, they're like talking about the lights in the submarine. They're like, oh, we got these from the
World.
Yeah, Camper World. Exactly. Thank you. That's the store. We got these buddies from Camper World. They work great. It's like, yeah, I guess maybe you could use LED lights in the cabin. It's not like that's bad.
But don't promote that you're getting the stuff like off the shelf from Camper World, you know? Say you're going through NASA or some bullshit.
Yeah, it's like, apparently it was built with NASA too.
Yeah, the hull. That's it. Just
Yeah,
the hull.
the hull.
But 6 inches of carbon fiber, I just wouldn't understand could maintain the pressure.
That's what I
at 2.5 miles underneath the ocean. If we don't have anything in our Navy that can go that far down, then why do we think one guy that it's a sad, I can't. So,
It is
yeah,
sad.
go to the news. Just look up Google Trends. Just pick something you're interested about because I could do one on rocks. I know I could do that thing for days. I'd interview people that do rocks, mine rocks, cut rocks. I got a faceter in Russia who always wins awards for everything he facets, and he like does beautiful big things, and some guy carves them.
That's crazy.
Wild. So that's what I would do. Find something you like, talk about it.
Do a podcast reviewing movies.
Yes. That seems to be a pretty big one. I see that a lot on Good Pods.
People do like role-playing games.
Oh my God. But that's actually really fun if you're into that sort of thing.
No.
I always liked D&D.
No.
I mean, I played that when I was a
What
kid.
is Dungeons and Dragons? Is that like the game they played in
Stranger Things.
in Stranger Things?
That's the
Okay.
game.
Yeah. I've never played that. It's kind of cool. But like I would not get like fucking dressed up like a fucking character or any of that shit. Like you can miss me with that.
Never got dressed up. It was just me and my friends, and we'd all hang out at
You're
my
just
friend
like,
Phil's.
oh, no, he blocked. He's down to 3 health. Like you just like kind of say everything out loud. Is that how it works?
I mean, okay. Okay, so as a dungeon master, he comes up with the whole story and the campaign and like what you're gonna fight, and then there's like 5 people.
Wait, like they come up with it on the spot?
No, usually they like
read it.
I mean, my buddy Phil would write this.
He would write it out.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
spot. Wow.
Not on the spot. No, he would take days beforehand. You're
Oh my
playing the
God,
campaign
really?
because it was always a big thing.
Oh, so like that's actually kind of cool. Like you would have a group of people, like you would have someone be the writer, and like they would spend a while. Wow, that's crazy. They make like a whole story.
Oh yeah, because if you were to fight the demons or whatnot in the role playing game,
Yeah,
you
and there'd
need
be,
somebody to play
there'd
the
be, like,
demons. So that would be the dungeon
multiple
master.
options if you like killed one thing or two.
You could do whatever you want.
Oh,
You just whatever you say is what happens.
oh, okay.
I want to go rob from my friend. I've done that a million times, and my buddy always hated it because I was a thief, and if you roll a certain die and you got a certain number, you could always like pickpocket them. Okay, so that's kind of what I got for choosing my niche. I hope you understood that.
Okay. Well, what I have for choosing mine is, like I said before, definitely go with the hobby you're interested in, or like something you're passionate about, or maybe something that you want to learn about, kind of like we're doing. We don't really know too much, but we get some like news, and then we're also trying to get more people on, and the more guests we have on, we're hoping that'll increase the frequency of the amount of guests we have on, and then we'll just kind of go from there. And just so we can just have good conversations, meet people, make connections, and just learn.
Yeah, our podcast,
So,
I mean, we
that's-
chose the side hustles, but
Yeah.
ours is really more for networking. We want to the network.
that too. But in that niche, like you can go about it in any niche. Like say you're interested in knitting, say you're interested in board games, say you're interested in
Fishing,
fishing.
boating,
That's a good one.
skateboards.
Yeah. People like to talk about fishing,
I mean,
fishing stories.
again, oh,
Like-
shit. If you just, my buddy wants to open up a barber shop. I said, here's what you do. You get the barber shop, and then you record all the conversations you have while cutting hair. And it
Oh,
would just be like
Those go
barbershop stories.
crazy. And is he opening the barbershop too? Like just like he wants to buy one?
He's been
see.
saying it, but he's not going to
He's
do
not going to do it.
And it kind of bums me out. He's
He
like,
could
I don't even
record
know
the whole
what
process. He'd probably already have followers before the store opens if he does one of those videos where they're like, I'm opening a barbershop and like, here's the design.
And who would
Follow for part 2.
You know how many people actually love talking about themselves? So there might be people who would be like, oh, I'd love to be on this podcast. I'm going to go book a haircut with them. And then you can charge whatever you want. It's like $50 a haircut. Sorry. But we're going to talk for a half hour and I'm going to put on my podcast. And people
Or like just put it on YouTube Shorts, like just record like POV of you cutting. Okay. So what do you think they're going to use for mics in a setup? Like, do they have laptops?
Yeah, he's got a laptop. Or he's
Okay.
got 2 laptops.
Yeah, you just need one. So
And
you
mics.
need one laptop and 2 mics and a mixer. Right.
You don't really. Okay, so that was
You
the
could
problem.
probably plug 2 mics right into the laptop.
I don't know
You
about
want
that. I haven't tried that. You probably could.
A software.
But they're as long as you can get the mics on separate channels on that laptop, yes. I'd actually have to try that, but I only have 2 ports on this damn thing, and one of them's for my mouse, and I hate using the little thumb pad thing.
Yeah.
But mics, yes, this is one everybody wants to go crazy with. They want to spend $300. These cost $49. They are
just starting out. You get the Samsung Q2, right?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I got. Rock on.
Samsung Q2.
And I don't think we even needed them, because Brian, when he was on, the guy with the 3D printing company, he just had the shitty earbud mics with the earbud buds with the mic.
With the mic on the wire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And his audio sounded fantastic.
And even if you did that, you can run it through the audio corrector and then it'll work fine.
That was going to be my point. It doesn't matter how expensive your mics are. You can run it through Adobe Enhanced Audio, and it sounds like you're in a studio. We could be outside recording this, have all the birds, all the wildlife cars driving by. It'll take it all out. In fact, I use that for my boss's daughter. She's a musician, and I just wanted to see if I could get their audio clearer because they were in a bar when they did it. And I cut out everything except her singing. And I didn't know that it would take out the music as well. So that was kind of weird. It's supposed to take out the background noise, but it took out the music. So it was just her singing with no music. And it was actually, it was
You're
really
telling
good.
me it removed. Wow.
And I didn't want it to.
That's insane.
I assume they're going to become a little bit better with how you remove it, because right now it's just upload the file, they'll do everything, and you just download it.
Split it all apart soon.
I would hope to see something like that happen.
I noticed something the other day. There was an area where I could upload an audio file and have it transcribed, and it splits it apart by person 1 and person 2.
Mine was Decipher. But,
like it was like a Google one or something like that.
Well, you find that.
Public one.
Please.
I'm trying to picture what it is. It's in my history. It has to be in my history.
Okay. Well, when you go home, send that to me, because that's half my problem. I have to write in the ChatGPT what we talked about, and then I have ChatGPT come up with titles. Do not go crazy on mics. You don't even have to go crazy on a soundboard. But if you do get a soundboard, actually, you might have to go crazy, because I think this cost $100 and it doesn't have what I want it to. It had 4 inputs for XLR mics, and I figured if I had 4 inputs, I would have 4 individual outlets. I would have different channels for each mic. But no, when I use Audacity and I tried to do it, no, it's every mic on that thing goes through one channel. And that kind of sucks, because you might notice through this podcast episode, when you talk over me or I talk over you, one of us gets cut down 75%. And I don't want that. Whereas if you have the 2 audio channels, they both can sound the same and it sounds good. So pay attention to the mixing board you get. Make sure you have multiple output channels or whatever. Just make sure you have multiple channels. That's the one thing I can't stress enough. The mic, get a $10 mic. Get one from Family Dollar. I guarantee you it'll sound fantastic. Just run the audio through Adobe. Just Google Adobe Podcast, and there's a thing for enhanced audio. It's the greatest free tool ever. You could do 3 hours a day of content.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean...
Wonder when that's not going to be free anymore.
Well, it doesn't matter, because I got that subscription, so we're going to be good. But yes, there's a whole bunch of free tools out there that can enhance your audio. You don't really need to do anything. But what do you think about mics? You think they... Okay, one thing I would like to get... You know how we got the tripod thing right here? I don't like that. I want one of those, I don't know, ceiling-mounted ones, or ones...
They say that having a mic with the strings around it, so it's like suspended by the strings, works better and makes sure like the mic doesn't get any sound if you like tap the table or something like that.
That's what I'm more worried about, because we're tapping.
That's a one upgrade you could get. Like maybe you could get a holder for the Samsung Q2 that's like made of like that bungee cord.
That's splitting hairs. I mean,
It is.
You don't really have to go crazy, because the software's out there. And then
you could probably get like a bigger podcast style mic with like the.
I want that thing in front. I don't know what the thing in front
round
is.
foam. It's like the bigger one.
Yes.
Not like a regular microphone.
But it's like attached to the microphone.
Yes.
In front of it, like 3 inches or so.
Yes.
I don't know what it's for.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's for sound dampening.
I didn't mean the foam. I meant more that like round ring in front of the thing.
It looks like a canister more than like a ball at the top.
It's very strange, but
getting one of those, you could probably get one for cheap too. Like the amount of mics that are out.
Oh yeah,
is insane.
But I just don't know if it's really worth it with the Samsung Q2.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. You don't need it. You can do this on the cheap to record this off the podcast, all we use is Audacity.
Yep.
And that's completely free.
Audacity works great. You also have Podcastle, and what's the other one with the video that we just used?
Oh, Radio FM or
Riverside.
Riverside FM.
Riverside FM. Yeah, Riverside FM works great as well.
Don't you if you were doing a video podcast, you can do straight audio, and that's what we do. When we have interviews, we do video, but I haven't edited those videos. It's too much to edit the audio and the video. So essentially later on, that's the whole plan. We'll edit the videos, create little shorts, because you got to promote it somehow, and I feel that shorts do that. But if you were to do video and you were looking for something that's really good quality when you were interviewing somebody overseas or whatnot, no, it's Riverside FM. Because as you're recording,
Works great.
the video will be like, it'll look shitty, but the minute you export that thing, it's in 4K. It is just outstanding.
Yeah, that's the best part about it, for sure.
So there's a lot of free stuff out there. You don't have to go crazy. The only thing you might have to do, there's a lot of hosting platforms for your podcast, and you want to make sure you kind of, or at least I did, I want to make sure I hit every streaming platform, Spotify, Apple, YouTube Music, just everything. But I wanted one central location where I upload the podcast, and then it just distributes it to all those things.
Yeah.
So I chose a company called Ausha, A-U-S-H-A. I haven't tried any of the other ones, so I'm kind of biased to Ausha.
You don't really need that in the beginning, and I think another one is called Anchor.
Yeah, Anchor.
Yeah, Anchor, like, it just basically gets your podcast and puts all of your episodes on every channel.
Yeah, it's a hosting.
Apple, yeah.
But I just don't know how much that is.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you're paying monthly for that when you could just be uploading them all yourself. But
no, you still need to pay for a hosting. It's kind of like having a website. Like, you still have to pay a hosting provider to host that website. Like, you go through Bluehost and you buy the domain.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, no, you still need to pay for that hosting.
Because it's like music in a way.
Yeah, because it's just...
So, like, if you made a song, you would have to pay someone
Yeah, to host. Yeah,
to host it.
I assume that's how
Right.
that works. I don't know. I'm not
So you're telling me we couldn't just upload our episodes there?
No, you can't just upload an episode somewhere.
We can't just upload it to Spotify.
No.
We need to do it through Ausha or Anchor.
Or one of those other...
You have to.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah, because all I do for Spotify is I just send them my RSS feed from the hosting platform, which is Ausha. I just send them that feed, and then they boom, do the thing.
We should make a free one of those, but with ads.
We'd have to think about how to do that, but
Not
a bad idea.
It would be complicated.
Probably
You'd have to get like
an engineer.
servers involved,
Yeah.
like remote servers. We'd have to like pay for one.
So chances
See how
are we're
much
not
that
going to be
is.
doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It'd be cool though to do a free one.
So any other equipment you'd get?
Oh,
I mean, get earbuds.
yeah, you might want headphones.
If it's multiple people in one location, get a sound.
Yeah. So how much did these mics cost?
I think they were $50 each.
$50 each.
But you didn't need to do that. You could have gone to Dollar Tree and picked up
Exactly.
dollar.
But just so people know, so $50 each for the mics, and then how much for the mixer? Like $100.
I think it was like $115.
Okay,
So-
$100 for the mixer.
I assume you have a computer. Just have a way to record it. There are some you can just record through the
I bet
mixing
you
board.
today there's definitely a piece of equipment that you can buy that will like record it into your phone or something if you really need to.
Oh,
Want the professional mic?
I mean, you could do the Riverside FM through the phone and just record that whole thing and
That
just
too.
download that.
That too. Yeah.
So you don't really need to go crazy. I'd go with the cheapest shit possible. I'd spend $2 on the mic for each person, and that's it. I just took it up through the laptop, and I'd go from there, and then use free tools.
How do you edit?
Honestly, okay, so that's where there are free tools everywhere, but since I edit a lot of video for the shop, I just use Adobe Premiere Pro. I cut out
Yeah.
the black
Yeah, that's
video
just
thing,
basic.
and I just do the audio
That's the staple.
because I just I
Yeah.
love how I know everything. I know how to do everything.
Oh, I still gotta learn that. I'm gonna learn it one day. To be a pro.
Well, the thing is, my boss doesn't want it on his computer anymore because he's got Firefox 37 tabs open. He'll have 4 other programs open. And then I
gosh.
wonder why his computer's slow. It boggles. I'm like, right, you got to close shit out, but he doesn't listen. So he wants his old Adobe. And because I pay the monthly subscription, I get 2 users on the account. And usually it's me and him. But now it'll be me and you. So you can have the whole Adobe suite. And I want to play with their AI tools in the Adobe program too.
Yeah. I've got to check them out.
Okay, so that was it for equipment.
Editing it. No.
Well, we kind of got editing. I mean, I can't really describe how to...
Is it? Oh, I want to mention the one that I've used. What is it? CapCut online. It's like a pretty simple editor. You can like
the free
you can like split the audio. You can do all that stuff you need to do. Cut it in certain places, move, drag it off to the side, delete certain clips, move them in different spots. It works great. And it's really simple and like just like intuitive to use. It's like you kind of just like right click if you want to do something and like select, or there's not like a lot of really small buttons that don't have like labels on them like Adobe Premiere, because that can be kind of confusing sometimes. You don't know exactly what does what.
I just use C, V, and A. Literally the
I forgot those
C
the
is
other
cut,
day. I
V
was
is-
editing a video and I was trying to remember which one did that, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, because sometimes I'll actually push like Z or X, and then something happens, and I have no idea
You're
what I
like,
just...
oh,
I kind of freak out. So
Oh,
I'll close it.
Control Z is a lifesaver. I wish that could be a real thing.
Right? In life.
Like,
I just want to Control Z for my life.
yeah.
Undo.
How long should each episode usually be, do you think?
Okay.
For people starting out, like you could go with literally any amount, because I know this guy who does like 5-minute episodes, and like the most you'll find is like maybe a 15-minute one or a 30-minute one. But like I know someone who does all like 5-minute episodes, and it's crazy. He literally sounds like a robot and just lists out like, here are the top 5 things to do when starting your first online blog. Number 1, get a hosting provider.
Yep.
Just like list out things just like that, and a 5 minutes long, and then it's just over.
But he gives you exactly what you need.
Yeah,
Not like
he
us.
does.
We just go off on a rant.
Yeah.
The guy we're gonna get, Nick Huber, he's got a podcast. Some of them are 5 minutes, some of them are 12 minutes, but it's
really?
about real estate. It's about
Yeah, I
taxes.
gotta listen to some of that.
Oh my God! Do the one on taxes where he brings on his CPA.
Oh, really?
I've listened to it like
Is it
twice,
good?
and it's good, but
Does it
they
have good information? Like,
it's got
tips?
amazing information if you know what the hell they're talking about.
Oh, gosh.
But it's so
Oh, yeah, you told me. You said it was kind of going over your head a little bit. You couldn't figure out all the terms they were using.
yes, that was the problem, and
I'm not going to be able to either.
but I still say you should listen to it because we're gonna get Nick Huber on the episode and on the podcast. I'm so excited. That was the That was the guy I wanted
And
to
he
get.
does the storage facility, right?
Yeah, $100 million in storage real estate or storage facilities. Yeah, and
Like
he's
across
35.
the U.S.?
Actually, I think just in
Just
3 or
one?
4 states.
Just 3 or 4 states.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got 52 of them, so each are about $2 million each.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it's amazing. So I'm just gonna.
Crazy.
I want to know how he did it, where he got the money.
Probably got some crazy stories.
100. Oh yeah, I bet you $5. He's got a dead body story in one of the storage
Gosh, that'd be crazy. Yeah. Well,
So yeah, don't worry about the time. I mean, you were kind of worried sometimes. One episode we did it 30 minutes, but that's because I had to leave early. I had a friend problem and I had to go help him out.
don't like try and push for extra time, because then you'll just be like
Yeah, sometimes
kind of stumbling over your words. Well, I do that a lot. I don't really have the gift of gab.
no, you don't. And I actually thought you did.
Like sometimes, yeah, I feel like I used to.
And this was only 3 or 4 years ago, bud. What happened in 4 years that you're just not the gabber anymore?
I don't know.
That's okay. But no, there is a point, maybe around 40, 45 minutes. We kind of exhausted all our topics. And then we try and push for an hour and 10,
Yeah.
really, because I cut about 10 minutes and I want it to be an hour. I just assume you get more ad placements with an hour. And
Yes.
I essentially want to monetize this podcast at some point.
Sure, yeah.
So that's just us, though. But whatever you feel. If you do a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, oh God, I couldn't even imagine how long that thing would go. Because there would be times we would play a game for 13 hours.
Holy,
We'd start at noon
what?
and we'd end at, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Oh,
Dude, that's insane.
oh, and the campaign still wouldn't be over. We'd have to continue next weekend, the weekend after. God, I miss those days so much.
Wow,
I'm a nerd.
that's wild.
What else you got?
All right, so we got how long? How often should we post? We post every Friday, but
When do we post?
we post every Monday.
Thank you.
But some people post 2 times a week. Some people post I don't know,
Every day.
Some people post like
Isn't the morning
2
brew
weeks.
the daily brew or the morning brew? I think they do theirs every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There are some people, I mean, Joe Rogan, doesn't he do every day? Like 3 hours a day, at least. I think it's way more than that. But I mean, if we were getting paid $60 million, I'll sit here for 8 hours and talk to you. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be getting paid $6 million, but
not anytime soon. But remember, Joe Rogan started on Fear Factor, and he was just a host. I mean, he was a nobody. Look where he is now. So how often I would post? Yeah.
It all depends on how fast you want to grow.
If you do it once a month, I don't think you're going to get the traction.
No.
I think you need to do it once a week, at least twice a month. Because you want to, but be consistent on that. If you post on a Monday, post on Mondays. Don't be like, oh, well, I'll post on a Thursday or post on a Friday. It's just like YouTube. You got to post certain days, certain times. There's a consistency to the whole thing. Just stay consistent, but make the choice. Don't do a month. I'm against that. Minimum 2, maximum every day.
Yeah.
But I hope you have an editor for that, because it takes me 2, 3, 4 hours to edit this podcast.
Yeah. Takes a while to edit.
What do you think? Day, 2 days? 2?
I'd say if you're new, I would start out with try once a week, and if you can, maybe twice a week in the beginning.
Because we're actually thinking about, or we were at one point thinking about doing shorts. Not shorts, but not hour-long episodes, maybe 15 minutes. And we would have done this whole episode in 15 minutes. You give me 10 questions, I give you 10 answers, and we call it a day. But I like the bullshit.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you sound it.
All right, so how should you go about promoting the show? So maybe you got a couple episodes. What should you do?
Podcasting, the hardest thing to grow.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
With a YouTube channel, you could do a newsletter, you can do anything else and grow that thing, no problem.
Yeah, you might want to try that first if you're thinking about podcasting.
That's actually not a bad idea. They kind of recommend to sort of have a community before you start something.
Yeah.
Or it definitely helps.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. We don't listen. I come up with an idea and I want to go with it, and I need you to kind of calm me down a little bit, but I also amp you up.
I'd say first things first, definitely make a website if you can.
Why?
So you can post articles and rank in Google. So when anyone searches for your show in Google, you'll show up in Google, because that's important. I mean, usually your podcast distributor, like Ausha or whatever you're using, will do that for you. But
yeah, no, I agree. I just
do it.
Yeah.
And then, so basically any link that you have out there, think about it as you put your podcast out on Good Pods. You put your podcast out on Twitter. Every link that you put out to the internet, no matter where it is going to help build authority for your show. It's as simple as getting your show out wherever you can, whenever you can.
Now, I'm going to go a step above that too and say, yeah, the links and everything, but it's all about the shorts now.
It is.
And even if you do an audio podcast, but if you can kind of edit video, like say we're talking about the 10 things you would do, I'd be like, don't get an expensive mic, get a cheap mic. And then I'd have the mic, and then I'd have a big X with the sound effect, and then a little mic. Just do little shorts, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, just kind of showing people what your podcast is about. If you put on an episode, nobody listens to it, fantastic. But you put a little short out on Instagram, and 10,000 people could see that short. Put them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, anything like that, with a link back to the podcast. Then for Twitter, I think the best thing to do is try and reach out to experts in the field that you're talking about, or if it's D&D, call up some creators or designers of the figures or dice manufacturers, anything like that. But I really feel that the more you interview people, the bigger your audience will grow, because you're kind of getting their audience plus your audience, and it's a nice swap too. Like, our audience will kind of follow Nick Huber, because the guy's going to be a damn genius when he's on this podcast. He's going to make us look like morons. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yes, I'm super pumped to get to talk to him and have a great conversation, but I don't want to look like an idiot too.
Well, that's why I just...
that kind of happens sometimes. All right, so we kind of struggle with this sometimes.
Shiny object syndrome?
Some of our episodes are just all over the place. We'll go on 10-minute rants. So how do you create engaging content that is going to keep listeners coming back?
Okay, engaging content,
you need to do a lot of research.
You got to be able to talk.
Yeah, that too. You also have to be able to just
regurgitate what you learned.
Yes.
But everything you learned, not just the 5 seconds.
Yeah, not just 5 seconds. Yeah.
But, okay, yeah, no, that's our problem, because this whole episode I wanted to do on podcasting, and we kind of hit every other subject but podcasting. And that's mostly on me because I go off on wild tangents, but that's how my mind works. It's web. So you pull me back, bud. Engaging content, I don't know.
Content. And a good way is getting a guest on too, because I feel like when you have a guest on and you get to know someone and like have a conversation with them for the first time, it's different because you're like meeting each other and it's like,
well, you don't need to come up with the content.
Yeah, and you're just, having a conversation. So that's a good way to create engaging content. And how do you get guests on? You have some really creative ways of doing it.
Oh, well, how I got Nick Huber on was I sent him this long DM because it was funny. 2 days ago, he had posted, I need to go on more podcasts. What do you guys recommend? My DMs are open. So I was like, here's my opportunity. And I emailed it. I DM'd him. I just said, look, me and my buddy Mitch, we got a 20-year age difference, but we're talking about side hustles, and it's kind of interesting to hear your point of view from like all this new age technology. And I'm kind of old school, but I'm trying to merge my ideas with your ideas and come up with something obviously future-proof. So I DM'd him and I said, look, okay, our podcast, it's not probably going to do anything for you. Like there's no benefit to you actually coming on here. However, I could put you on my other friend's podcast, and this guy has a TV show on HGTV up in Canada, Hoarder House Flippers. Guy's name's Ryan Carr. Really swell fella, and I met him through the shop. He comes down every 6 months, and he's been building a car, and he built these beautiful hot rod fenders, everything like that, and that's how I got to know him. But I offered to put Nick Huber on his real estate podcast because I know those two. My buddy Ryan, he's just very eloquent, intelligent. So I said, if I put you on his podcast, would you consider being on mine? And then I thought, okay, but even if you don't want to be on my podcast, I completely understand. I'd still love to introduce you to Ryan. So even though we were going to get nothing, I was still going to introduce him to this guy because I was hoping maybe in the future he might be like, well, that was a really cool invite. And, me and Ryan are great friends now, and he's in some deals and all this other bullshit. And maybe he could remember, small Mark Laporte.
Yep.
But he DM'd back immediately. He said, okay, well, if you get me on his show, I'd love to be on yours. And that's how it happened. So I got to call Ryan today and just kind of come up with some dates. But try and put out another offer. Even if you can offer nothing on your podcast, there's always something you can offer.
Yeah.
Just offer labor. Hey, I could help you out with your reels or help you out with, just find something you're good at and see if you can help him somehow.
Yeah, for sure. Offering something is a great way to get someone on and just kind of.
Besides money.
Like instead of just like saying, hey, want to come on my podcast? Like have a little like something to, like a networking aspect to it is like the best thing that you can provide, really.
You got to grease the wheel.
Yeah, but I don't have many networks personally, but you do.
This is why
we're a lot older than me. So
this is why we're friends.
This is a good one. Should someone starting out script their podcast or should they just freestyle it? I feel like when we freestyle it, sometimes it goes great. Other times, nope. It just doesn't work. I feel like you're pretty good at it. Like whatever we're talking about, you can come up with something.
I've always been a bullshitter though.
But
I've always been good at gabbing.
I am sometimes, and then other days I'm just not there. And so I feel like having a script could be good, but more of like a hybrid script, not like write every word down, but kind of have sentences, maybe a few bullet points on each topic that you want to bring up, and have like a general like rundown of what you're going to talk about in a list.
I feel it definitely depends on the person.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend a script for, because when
I can do a script sometimes if I just write down a little bit, but if I write down a lot,
like a script,
like if I write down a paragraph describing something and I try to read it and I just like start thinking about how to say it, and then I start thinking, oh, I'm recorded, this has to sound decent, and then it's just like
it's very robotic.
and then I turn to a robot.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you read, it's very robotic.
Yep.
You're a bullet point guy. I'm probably a bullet point guy either. I couldn't script because I'd flub on a word or something. When you read, when you freestyle, obviously you probably flub on words too, but it's just all that thought process. Like whatever's coming in my brain is going up through my mouth.
Yeah. I feel like the list, having like a list or a script definitely helps, because kind of almost gives you like, you're more comfortable. Like you almost have like a progress bar of how far you've gone through, like where you are in the list, and you can kind of always like branch out, but where to go back to. Like you can just type.
But I feel we don't have main top. We're trying to get better. We're trying to do topics every episode. Last episode, blue collar side hustles. This episode, how to start a podcast or top 10 questions for a podcast or something. So we're getting there, but we definitely don't do the crazy research that some of these other podcasts do. But I feel like there's a history guy. Well, you have to do research on history. You can't just flub that because it's history. Somebody's going to fact check that. This, I feel like it's more opinion. Some people will be like, no, you got to spend $300 on a mic.
Oh, yeah. And people will like go give advice on the internet about how to do a side hustle and be like, yeah, this is going to make you $1,000 in like 2 days.
Right. But they didn't tell you you need 6 months before that to make the $1,000 in the 2 days.
Yeah. Or to learn how to even set up a website and get it to work.
Like, 2 days you said.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. 2 days.
But yeah, I feel scripts, bullet points. I would strict bullet points.
Yes. Well, we don't really do this much because we don't have many listeners right now. And I guess this isn't the best piece of advice for people who are looking to start. But how do we go about looking at like the analytics and stuff like that? So we use like the analytics on Ausha because they are hosting. So they tell us when our prime listen time is, how many listeners we have.
Very much like YouTube analytics.
Like the views on each video, you can see like maybe you had a better title for one, or maybe one was more engaging and kept people listening longer. So you can kind of tell what sticks and what doesn't, but it's hard to do that when you don't really have a listener base.
Yeah, starting out, I mean, that's a problem. You can't really pay attention to the analytics.
Yeah.
Unless you have thousands of downloads per episode, you'll notice, okay, well, this one had 4,000, but this one had 2,000. Okay, this topic might suck, so stick with the 4,000 one. But yeah, until you have a listener base, the analytics aren't going to mean anything. It's kind of cool, though, when you see people from other countries are listening.
Yeah, you can kind of see where it comes from.
I do enjoy that. It's like,
listen.
Wow, we got somebody from, Italy or somebody.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's just the hosting platform. I believe some are more different than others, because that's one common question I get on the podcast Facebook group. They always ask, they're like, well, I'm not getting the analytics. How do I get this from Apple? How do I get it from Spotify? Or how do I get it in one central location? And I believe different platforms do different things. Ausha, thankfully, does it all in one spot for me.
Yeah, it's really nice. So that's how you check the analytics. I don't think there's really much to do with that. Like you have maybe like Google Analytics for your website, but
yeah,
you don't really need to use that. As long as you have a place for people to go and read about your recent shows or whatever you're posting, that works. And how can you monetize your podcast?
When you have thousands of listeners, you can place ads in.
Yeah.
Because that's what they care about. They care about how many listeners per episode. But when you're just starting out and you don't have an audience, doesn't matter if we're talking about D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, well, if you like this podcast and you want to consider your own, sign up for Ausha. It's a great hosting platform. Links in the description below.
Yeah,
Ausha has an affiliate.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime. I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about the products, but
yeah, if you had a podcast where you were talking about products, you could monetize it with affiliate.
That's how I would start. Do affiliates first, and then when you get the listener base, then you can. I assume most companies just reach out to you. I don't know if you reach out to them.
Most companies won't really give you an ad unless they're feeling really generous and like toss it to you for like a low price.
Well, that's the thing, because I'm still anti-ads the first year. I mean, I'd love to have ads, but I just feel
it'd be harder to gain a following with ads already in your show.
Yes. Start out affiliate. When you get thousands of listeners, then you can join. You can get monetized by having ads on your platform. And I want to say it could be anywhere from $10 to $20 to $30 per 1,000 listeners. So you can, you got 10,000 listeners, you can get $300 an episode.
Wow.
Just from one ad read. So if you have 3 ad reads for an hour long, I mean, there's $1,000. That would be fantastic. So that's kind of a tough one. But yeah, focus more on the affiliate side.
Yeah, focusing more on the affiliate side in the beginning is definitely a good strategy to go with.
So that's the only way you can monetize.
Trying to get paid ads in your show.
Or if your show is about a product that you have, like it's about your business, well, yeah, then just keep promoting your business. Be like, hey, check out my website, buy my t-shirt, buy this. Oh, yeah, t-shirts and mugs and hats and all that stuff. That's always a great way to monetize. It's not going to be very lucrative, but you'll get something.
Just have it there, just in case.
Oh, yeah, if you make $30, $40 and you pay for your hosting fees, that's cool. That's beautiful. You don't have to pay for anything.
So I got a little bit of this right now, but that's because I was up till 5 a.m. last night.
You were up till 5 a.m. last night, huh?
I do have this in a lot of the episodes, and I apologize. I really should bring more energy to the episodes. How to deal with podcast fatigue. I don't know. This one's kind of a weird one.
You think you have podcast fatigue?
Is podcast fatigue, are they saying like when you're recording the episode and you get tired by the end of it because like you're exhausted from talking and being recorded, or
That's a good question because I didn't think about that.
is it like podcast fatigue, like you kind of don't have a topic or something like that and you don't know what to do, and like you've kind of like...
Yeah, but we do that all the time and you're still down to come up on Friday and just talk about anything.
Yeah.
I think they're saying like, no, we've done this for 6 months and I need a couple of weeks off. I'm just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. I think that's more what they're saying.
Yeah.
We haven't experienced that. I mean, sure, I'd love to do different things on a Friday. I'd like to actually enjoy a little bit of a day off. It's like fuel for me. I want to do more side hustles or more with the Etsy or the YouTube or whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
For me, it's an energy thing. If you do it by yourself, I assume you probably get podcast fatigue way more often.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you were recording one on your own, it would be yourself.
I honest to God don't think I could do it. I mean, that one Friday, I could have done an episode by myself. I don't want to. I don't have the motivation to do it by myself. Like you coming over, well,
I don't think
motivation.
Yeah, it's just like having someone to talk to, you know?
I think if you're going to have a good podcast partner, if you're not going to go solo, you got to have a good podcast partner. You got to have somebody who's just as crazy as you are. So but podcast fatigue in the middle of the show, like you always experience, usually about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You're just very,
I
don't know, for you, have a cup of coffee in the middle of it. Have a freaking Red Bull. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I always do before you come over, you don't realize, I put on 80s metal bands or 80s glam
Wake
bands.
yourself up.
Oh, I'd like the Final Countdown by Europe. I always play that, and it's so awesome. If you've ever seen
the rest of the episode,
have you ever seen Arrested Development? If you haven't, great show. But they play that song in that, and this guy, Will Arnett, he's a magician, and anytime he does magic, he always has that song in the background. So I always think of him, and it just kind of makes me, like I'm laughing right now and smiling. I don't know, that's what I do. So you should amp yourself up with songs.
Yeah, I was listening to reggae music because, What? Come on, it's pretty good.
I can't.
You got to keep the positive vibes flowing.
I got positive vibes from my 80s glam band.
I don't. I'm trying it. Trying everything.
So I hope you kind of got some good information from this. And if you made it to the end, congratulations. You're one of 3 people. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Alicia. And thank you.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's it for this week's episode of Coffee Milk. I'm Mark Laporte.
And I'm Mitch Apollo.
See you next week and bring some energy.
Yeah.